Hello everyone and welcome back to Cloudfall Zoo, episode 2, Electric Boogaloo. Today a bit of a minor update on this zoo. This is a zoo based in Cape Town, South Africa, in case you didn't know, in case you missed the first episode. And it is part of the ZSU project, so that's a bit of a, how to describe it, a role-play zoo simulator thing, so yeah, you go to the Discord server, you sign up, you start with a zoo, you start off small, maximum 15 species, and you slowly grow your collection, and yeah, that's what I've been doing over all this time. So I explained the concept of ZSU better in the first episode, so if you missed that, go watch that, or you can just go to the server itself and read the rules and that. So there's a whole bunch of other people, a whole bunch of zoos, you trade animals and the such, and that's how this project works. So yeah, Cloudfall Zoo is my little zoo in that project. But anyway, back to Cloudfall Zoo itself. And so yeah, I was working on something, a pretty big project, but I was gonna wait for that to come out before showing this episode, but I think actually it'll take quite a lot, and I already have quite a bit to show. Nothing fancy, but a few new exhibits, and I'm sure as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, unless I last minute changed it, I'm showing off some backstage stuff that I've built. So yeah. I think just like last time, we'll start here in the entrance because a new mod came out since the last episode. It's the free build mod by Kai. So yeah, if you've watched the Groteske Recreation video or the first episode Cloudfall, so you'd know that this parking lot was initially made using a bunch of finicky techniques, but now you can see I've kind of repathed it and it's a lot easier. A lot more less glitchy than was before. Still a little bit buggy, I guess, but yeah, this is made using Kai's freebuild mod, and as you can see, there's a lot of paths kind of overlapping each other, and now the lines of the path kind of fit more in line with the actual lines of the parking lot, and there's some really cool stuff you can do here. So like, now you can see you have guests going up the stairs. Before they just used to straight up walk in here. So yeah, this is how the path looks now, so the guests use it a lot more realistically. You've got some stairs, and then there's some stairs down here so they can go down. And yeah, I've even been able to install like a small little 2-meter path here, and it goes to our little, what's this, a gulpy stand. And of course it's invisible using Ibn's Boxless Shop mod. And we come over here, we even have an info desk. We actually managed to sneak an info desk in this office over here. Only one because they're quite big, but still, I really like that now guests actually come to the desks and speak to the little staff member. Yeah, and like I said, the way I did this was using the free build mod by Kai. So this is a stupid useful mod. If you don't know, it like essentially makes pathing a lot less painful. So yeah, so as you might have noticed, you can shrink your paths down all the way to 1 meter, so it makes making really small paths a lot easier. You don't have to bother with the queue paths and that. And you can also overlap paths on each other. So if I come over here, let me just make this longer. Then we take this there. You can see I can put paths over each other. So if you have an area where there's a bit of a, like say, a gap here. Okay, first of all, you don't want to just put a path right over there, because if guests walk over this little path section, it yeah, they will get stuck. But as you can see, there is a bit of overlap in this parking lot right here, so that's, yeah, there is some overlap between the paths there. Obviously you don't want to use two conflicting terrain textures first of all overlapping, because they just bug out, as we've seen here. But you can kind of have them overlap each other if they are all connected. So I'll show you a little bit of an example here. So I create this nub, it branches off. Now I can kind of have it overhang just a little bit funny, and boom. Yeah, as you can see, it covers up that little gap. But since that the path that's covering up the gap is connected to the same path over here, the guests won't freak out. So I guess as long as all the paths the guests are walking over is connected, they shouldn't get stranded. But if you just straight up take a path, like I said, do this, and that the guest will get stuck on there, because these two little paths I put you in the middle aren't connected to anything, so the guest will get confused, and yeah, so be careful with that. Yeah, Kai's mod also a lot more easier, so you can see I can place paths on terrain, I can place it next to water, right next to fences. It makes life so much easier, so I recommend getting it. And if you uninstall the, you can place paths down weird like I did here, uninstall the mod, the paths will work just fine. That's the great thing about this mod, is that it won't necessarily break your game. I don't think so. But yeah, so this path mod is really useful. And like I said, using this mod, I managed to get the guests to actually work properly here. Look so much better, I'm so much happy with this. But yeah, enough about paths, let's go ahead and see some animals. So first of all, I'm gonna go head back into the parking lot. You might see there's a little something new over here. We give guests a bit of a free animal to see when they come in. And yeah, they can see some new aviaries there, which we will go and check out. We have to use normal means, we have to go through the entrance. Actually, we're VIP, we can take the staff entrance. Yep, here's a little bathroom, and we can walk up the stairs and we can see some new cages. So remember last time our southern ground hornbills were somewhere over there. We'll see their old cage in a bit, but I built a new aviary for them right over here, and I've given them a new sign. So by the way, in case you missed the first episode, all the signs I made like all on my own, so including pictures. So if the pictures look really crappy, it's because I took them, but it means I don't have to cite anyone, and it's a bit more personal, my own thing. But yeah, it works. So we've got some southern ground hornbills. We've got a breeding pair, and one of them would be one of their children. And the way breeding ground hornbills work is that southern ground hornbills and a lot of other birds that have biparental care lay 2 eggs, so they have 2 offspring, but they only take care of the one. So the other one is just left abandoned, and yeah, kind of. It's a security baby. So if the stronger one, the parent's favorite, doesn't want to make it, then they'll raise a second child. But otherwise, the second child usually dies in the wild. But what zoos and that do, they will leave the first chick with the parents, unless the parents aren't really good at taking care of them. Then the zoo will take in both chicks, but the zoo will take in at least one chick and hand rear it. So that way they will, they can breed the hornbills and get all the babies they want. So yeah, the second chick is somewhere. We'll see. I think we'll see the second chick later, but yeah, it's been hand reared by our keepers. Whereas the other chick, we just left him with his parents because they will actually take care of him. So that's why there's 3 hornbills here, and we can enter this aviary. It is based a little bit on the southern ground hornbill aviary in Mitchell's Park Zoo. I'll get a good angle. I'll post a picture on screen now so you can kind of see my inspiration. The only difference is that I doubled down on it. The one in Mitchell's Park Zoo is just one aviary. What I did was I mirrored it on the backside over here, so we get an African fish eagle aviary. And yeah, this is a very janky sign for this one. I don't have any pictures of African fish eagles, so I can't really make a sign. That's the problem with me using my own pictures to make signs. If I don't have a picture of the animal, I can't make a sign. Maybe I'll think of something in the future. Please ignore all this mess in the background. That's my blueprint section. But yeah, here's our African fish eagle. It's a female we bought from the store, the ZSU store. Did I say UCZ? I must be feeling nostalgic. But yeah, so we got her. She made her own little nest up here on the ledge. And yeah, pretty simple enclosure. I think in the future I do want to build like a big wetland aviary, probably right over here actually. And she'll move then, but for now, yeah, this will do. Got a little water bowl here. This is I forgot what the piece is called. I can show you. East Asian water shrine. So yeah, that's a nice thing for watering bowls if you want. And also for, yeah, I put a little log because the hornbills, they're cavity nesters, so they nest in cavities of trees, sometimes cliffs, but so if you have a zoo, then they'll just put up a little box or a log that's hollowed out, and the hornbills go inside there. These birds, by the way, are made by Druck, so part of his Birds of the World pack, so southern ground hornbills, and he made a bald eagle, and I modified it to look like an African fish eagle. Oh yeah. Now on to some new exhibits. We're gonna do a little bit of backtracking. We can just take a nice quick walk through the zoo. Get up the stairs. Yeah, Aviary is over here. We got some new birds. I don't think these were here last time. I don't remember, but I think the marabous were in here. But now we have some African spoonbills. So I just took I don't remember who made the spoonbills. I think it was. I'm gonna check real quick. There's a wading bird pack made by Bongo. It was made by Bongo Hardwood, and yeah, he had I think European spoonbill, the one with the little crests, but I don't know, a few of them have crests, and I just modified a little bit. There's an African spoonbill. Unfortunately, these are 2D birds, so look at them from the side, they kind of vanish, but I mean from the front, they kind of vanish, but yeah, they still work. It's the best we can do until we get like actual birds in the game and that. So got some spoonbills, also a little concrete pond there. Yeah. Here I have our silver pheasants again. These are modified from Drax pheasant pack. I do need to make them a proper sign. I actually do have pictures of silver pheasants, so I can make them a sign. I've just been lazy. Come over here, we did have some new species. If you remember, there was a rhinoceros iguana. They've been moved to a new area, which we'll see next episode, so we'll see them again, don't worry. But some new animals here. The banded mongoose. And we do have a mod for banded mongoose. This was made by, wait, I wrote it down here. Mega Gaming Rex. So yeah, unfortunately the animation's a bit weird. You can see that this is just a meerkat with a banded mongoose skin. It doesn't really act like a banded mongoose, it acts like a meerkat. It's a little yeah, a little upsetting, but it's what we can do with the game currently. And they do kind of work. They fill in this exhibit, so can't complain too much. The hitboxes are weird. For some reason, it's harder for them to traverse this exhibit than it was the iguanas, which are like 3 times their size. So you can see here, the iguanas could go up here. So I need to mess around with the rock so they can actually move up here, because I think that'll be a cool view. Yeah, again, another custom sign. Just replace the rhinoceros iguana sign there. Sure. Let's move on. We still got our meerkats over here. Like I said before, our hornbills were over here. So yeah, I left the one hornbill. I'm thinking this is our hand-reared one, so he's put in here. But I don't want to keep hornbills in here. This is a primate exhibit, which is why I moved the hornbills out. They weren't ever supposed to be in here, but I haven't been able to get a primate to put in here. But also, if you remember last episode, this exhibit was implied, because there were vervet monkeys in here, and there wasn't any vervet monkeys in the game. There's a mod now, but they're out of my collection. What we do have is some ring-tailed lemurs, who never use any of the climbing frames. Literally, they're always on the floor, and that's annoying, but at least now the guests come over here and look into these cages. Yeah, by the way, if I sound weird, it's just I'm a little blocked up. I was sick earlier this week. I'm not sure I was actually sick. It was just my nose was blocked and I had a sore throat. But I mean, I'm better now. Just a little bit congested. So if I sound funny, that's why. Now we come back to our little what's this? Old waterfowl ponds. See, I've added some marlids in here, so we got some new ducks. I know there's a mod for swans and marlids, but I think because those are based on the flamingo, the pool has to be really deep, and this pool is pretty shallow, so they just kind of float in the air. And that's why I haven't put them in yet. I also haven't made a sign for the mallards yet, so that's why I have this black screen here. And also haven't made a sign for these 2 new bird species, which is why this says mute swan and barded goose. I'll change that in the future, don't worry, but yeah. So 2 other waterfowl put in here. We have the Canada goose, which is also a modded animal made by Bongo, and since this one's based on the peafowl and roams on land, I can actually put it in and it doesn't look weird. And we also have some Cape teals swimming in the back there. So if you remember, there was some tortoises in here. They also got moved, going to the same place where the rhinoceros iguana is, so I think maybe you can guess what the new area you'll see next episode is, but yeah. These are really good. They do actively, they are based on, like I said, the peafowl. So the way they move is a little funny, I think. But still, when they're standing still like this, you can't tell. It just looks like a Canada goose, you know? Vicious alpha predator of the northern hemisphere. As I said last episode, I gave you a bit of a teaser for this area, but now we're going proper backstage. So yeah, we've got this little gate here, and we can go through. And I believe I showed you this building. This was the only backstage building existing at the time, but now I got a lot more. Yeah, first of all, you'll see some weird plaster pieces placed here. This is just because there's a staff path underneath. So I don't think guests will come down all this way because, one, there's no animals here, nothing to draw them. And there's also, if I do end up placing a shop here or something, they won't come this way because there's a staff path. So they'll just block off. They'll rather go around on the actual street. Speaking of which, let's go and see. So yeah, this is just a parking lot. And we had a little gate to our staff area. Right up here. So we've got an angry archer that I've got to delete again. Got a truck. Did I show off this truck last episode? I don't remember who made this truck. I think it was Cool Dog. No, it was Keyboard Keeper. It was Keyboard Keeper that made these trucks, so yeah. You can see there's plaster pieces, there's a staff path hidden underneath again. Although what I think I could do nowadays to stop guests from coming in is just place the no entry sign. Yeah, these things, these guest barrier signs. I believe these will actually stop the guests from coming in, so I don't even have to worry about hiding staff paths like this again in the future. I need to try that out. Okay, we've got a little gate over here. Got our booms, you know. You don't want any random cars driving in. You want to check who's coming in. We've got our top of the line security here. Our angry archer, you know, in the security shed. And yeah. So over here we got most of our keeper facilities in this little building. Coming through here we have our what's this called? This is the keeper chill area. I don't know what the building's called, I forget. This is our food prep area, so the keepers can come and make all the tasty food for the animals. We have I don't know, what is this, a research station, as well as a engineer's workshop. I don't think you need either of these in Sandbox, but they fill up the space. And here we got a deluxe keeper chill area, the extra large one. What is this building called? Staff room, of course. Staff room. I feel like an idiot now. Anyway, moving along. So you can see we got some. I put a little bit of detail on the outside. Some air cons. We've got a hose pipe back here. This hose pipe is made by Ibn. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it this episode, but I do have a big check the description. A link to a collection with all the workshop items I've worked on. So if anything stands out, you know, like these stone pines, these are made by Vyoga, and like all the other stuff I've been showing this episode, last episode, and future episodes, they'll all be there. It's just easy for me to have a collection because all the links will be in one spot. Same thing with these little golf carts. They'll also be there. I showed them off last episode, I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna double check who made them. Dalquist 2 made them, so yeah. Shout out to those, because these are really good, well done. A lot of zoos have these little golf carts they drive around in. I need to get a bucky. What other countries call it? I believe they call it a pickup truck. That'll be useful for Zoo, I think. Yeah, we got this little bigger shed, this corrugated iron kind of shed. It's based on a building I saw at Mystic Monkeys, I think. They had like a kind of shed like this. So I imagine this would just kind of hold construction equipment. Yeah, it holds a quarantine and a trade center. So yeah, I won't add an interior in this because I need somewhere to have an actual quarantine and trade center. So this building will be it. Next over here we got another big old staff building. I believe this will just be admin and offices and that. No interior yet. I do want to add one in the future, but for now it's just a shell. It just looks nice. Yeah, so this will be have all the offices. So you know, if people need you need admin people for your zoo, because if someone has a venue or if there's social media stuff, and I don't know, you need offices. It's not all fun in animals. You need people that do the suit work as well. That was called suit work. I don't know. It shows my lack of my lack of experience in the workplace through this video. In a formal workplace, at least. Yeah, got another entrance over here on the side, just in case you need it. Then got this big old building. This is based on something I saw at Pretoria Zoo. It's a hay store. No interior yet, but I do actually want to add one here. Yeah, I'll post the actual picture of the hay store at Pretoria Zoo, and you can see the resemblance. Added these rainwater collection tanks here, these JoJo tanks. And yeah, so the roof has the gutters, and then the gutter will face in there, and we can collect some rainwater, save on some water costs. South Africa's a water scarce country. You need to save where you can. And use that to water the plants or the animals. Over here we got some new other buildings. I believe these will be like freezers and food prep areas. I actually have a trade center in this one as well. But yeah, again, want to add interiors. I've just been lazy to add interiors to any of these buildings. Again, this would be like another office or something. No interior. Yeah, got another entrance to the hay store. This I think will take you to the upper level in the future. Another rainwater collection tank thing. Yeah. We also have these cars around. I've just been walking past them because I showed them last episode, but yeah, these were made by Cool Dog. These ones were made by Cool Dog. Okay, so the truck was made by Keyboard Keeper, the cars were made by Cool Dog. Yeah, just have some parked around here. I do need to do the lines. I forget to do the lines for the road. I'll do it eventually, but yeah, right now it's just chaos. I suppose this is a staff area, so it doesn't really matter, but the actual outside public road, I need to do some lines. Not those kind of lines, guys. Come on. Grow up. Anyway, and for the last of the backstage area, I'm obviously going to expand the backstage area, maybe have some greenhouses for some plants, and then a vet center and more holding pens, but for now this is all the holding pens I got. These are based on stuff I've seen at Mystic Monkeys and Feathers. I'll throw pictures on screen for my references, of course. I hope. If I haven't been, I'm sorry. Yeah, very simple things. You just have a water bowl in the center, like a little ledge. I don't know if this is for feeding or what. You can put some branches up in that if this is for like primates, so you want to hold them in, but yeah, I think this primates or birds can be held in here. Yeah, like smaller birds or even smaller primates, I guess like marmosets or tamarins can work in this kind of cage. Yeah, just some backstage stuff, and it's based on actual IRL buildings using the mesh and the Australian rods. And in case you haven't seen last episode, I think I showed it here. I just took these Australian signs and colored them all green. And I think they work really nice. It's like the closest thing we get to a metal sheet in this game. A thin metal sheet, that is. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the backstage for now. Again, gonna expand, build more stuff. Got some refuse piles here as well. Because if you have excess soil or hay or gravel in this case, just put that here. So that's something I've seen at Johannesburg Zoo, I think. Somewhere in their backstage they have that. So yeah, back to some animals. Again, here we have the plaster hiding the staff path. And then I put a little thing there, you know, staff only, so guests don't come. Yeah, got a few more exhibits to show, and that'll be it for the episode. So if you remember last time, like I said, there's a bit of a ruin over here. A old rondavel that's been dilapidated, but yeah, we've converted into a viewing area. So yeah, the major structure still stands, but we built this little this roof, this little boma on top of it, and this elevated path. So you can come step on it, and we've got 4 new species we can see, although these guys aren't new. We saw them last episode, the marabous. We've also got some white storks, and on the other side, this second enclosure, we have some nyala. So we have 2 females and a bull, and we also have some grey-crowned crane. So yeah, made some signs for them. All looking nice. And I believe you can see in the back that we have our office building there. You can see some of the backstage. I think what I want to do in the future is have some vines or creepers come up this wall, so that way, because this building's a little bit distracting, but if you have like it overgrown with plants and that, it will help. Same with this fence here, because you know you're looking at your stalks, but in the back you can see a whole bunch of buildings, so I'm just going to have some leaves and that grow across this fence, so it kind of blocks out that view a little bit. Maybe also on this the hay store. Let's jump the fence so I can get a closer view. Yeah, so the marabous and all these stalks were made by me. They're part of my stalk pack, so you can see that in the workshop thing. We have a lovely nyala. This one's the female. Yeah, here's one using a little shelter here. Just made a simple brick shelter. No, there's some leaves poking through. Never mind that, but yeah, they're taking some naps in there. We've got a little gate in case staff need to use it, but the main gates are over here. We've got some water troughs for all our birds. This actually has the in-game water trough in, so staff can actually come pull this up and then y'all actually drink from it. The food the staff throw on the floor, but I made these pseudo food troughs. I think I've showed them last episode in the springbuck enclosure. So let's walk through there. Go past the fence, out the staff entrance. And here we have some more nyalas, because I had quite a few. I have 2 groups. I have 2 breeding groups, and here we have a soul bull. So he was born from one of the bulls, but he's old now, so he lives by himself. Made him a little rinky-dink shelter, so he can sleep there. Yeah, here we have another breeding pair. Just a male and a female in this case. And they also have a simple brick shelter they can sleep in. You can see some fences at the back that staff can't come through. So this exhibit here is kind of a temporary exhibit. In the future I will replace it, so a lot of the exhibits that I built will just be the low budget stuff will just be now for the beginning of the zoo while it's still low budget, and then when the zoo grows they'll get more fancy stuff and that. So yeah, big plans for this side of the zoo, really fancy stuff, but like I said, that'll be in the future when it seems a bit more appropriate to have high budget themed areas. Really looking forward to that. If you're part of the ZSU server, you might know what's going to come there, but otherwise you'll wait and see. Got a new exhibit over here, but I'm going to come back to it since that's a nicer one. Then over here we have more of these little temporary exhibits. Either way, you can see this is a path that goes to a shelter for an animal, a night room, but I don't have any staff path here, but what I did is I put this barrier up here, and it doesn't seem the guests want to go there. It might just be because they can't see any animals from there, so... But I think it actually kind of works to stop guests from going there, so you don't need to use staff paths anymore. Yeah, 2 more exhibits, quite similar to our springbuck and yearlant exhibit I've made over here. Showed last time. Took the same shelter, same fence type, but yeah, we have one for Nguni cattle, but no cattle in the game, so no mods for them either, so it's implied. But we got this nice sign, I guess. And over here we have an enclosure for the Audad, the Barbary sheep. So this is also a mod. I believe this one was made by Frazzle and Nicholas Linerider. Yeah. Again, for all the mods, the links will be in the description. Yeah, and lastly, we got some hog exhibits. So this exhibit is for Red River hogs. I have 3 Red River hogs, but there's no mod for them in the game. So what I have now is a single warthog. I know I don't have these in my collection, but yeah, just a warthog, so I can make sure all the traversable areas right in that. And yeah. But, and see, I have this exhibit here, and it is divided into 2 exhibits here. So there's a little bit of a fence here, so later if I want to, I can fence this off and then keep the Red River hogs in this main exhibit, which we'll see in a bit, the larger one, and something else in the smaller one. So I think, like, if I do actually get warthogs, I can just keep the warthogs in here and the Red River hogs in there. Maybe, you know, rotate them out a little bit, or some other animal that's appropriate. I'm not sure what else would work in here. The generic exhibits, I think a lot can kind of work in this. But yeah, this enclosure is kind of based on Johannesburg Zoo loosely, because Joburg Zoo has the hedges, and the shelter is kind of similar, but the shape is all different. Yeah, put a little mud pool there because, you know, the pig's gonna want to roll around in the mud. Yeah, got some trees, some fallen logs and that. I think is a quite nice exhibit. And yeah, this is kind of the last exhibit I have to show. You can see a little bit of a teaser of what's in the next episode in the back, if you've been paying close attention to the video. I'll show you in a bit, don't worry. I want to explore this enclosure first, so yeah, here we have the actual staff gate, so the staff can come in here. This is the backstage gate, so 2 pens, of course, in case we get 2 different species, so we can separate them out. And I decided to go a little bit more fancier, you know, keep some natural terrain. We have some sand here. Normally I just have concrete and hay, but it's like, yeah, let's just be a little fancy, why not? Yeah, it's a little warthog. Okay, and just one last thing for this video I want to show off is that you may notice that, yeah, this is kind of the concrete wall, the in-game concrete wall, but it's a little different because there's no pillars in between, and yeah, it's actually not difficult to get this. There's a little technique made by JustGoron. I'll leave his video, his tutorial where he showed how to do this, but just a little quick way to show how you can get this kind of wall structure here. So where you can get walls where you don't have the pillars like this. So essentially what you want to do is just place down null posts like this, and then you take the wall that you place down and then you just drag this little thing here. You drag the post into the null post and it connects, and boom, no pillar. So like I said, check out JustGoron's video. Just one extra thing I want to add now is it can be a little bit difficult to get these little curve parts. So yeah, if I show you, like if I have a concrete wall like this, and then so you have a straight line like that. If I join these posts up here, so as you can see, pretty normal, but then I join this post to that one, it comes out as straight. Whereas if I take a wall that's already curved, it will you can see it comes out as curved. So it can be a little funny trying to make walls like this. So what I recommend, how I did my Red River Hog exhibit, is that I essentially just place the wall normally with these columns, you know, get that, boom. Then what I did is that I came with these metal rods, or you can just come with any long straight piece, posted them, place them in the middle of all of these posts, and these little pillars, so that way I know where everything is. Yeah, And then what I did was take the enclosure, so that's over here, move it out of the way, move to the side. Oh. Then what I did was came with the null points and place it right underneath each of these barriers. And you don't wanna connect them up. You just want these little post things. And then what that does is so you're just gonna do that for all the posts there. When you join this wall up with these posts, it retains the original curve. So that's how you get these curves for these. Okay, this one's being funny. There we go. That's how essentially you attain the original curves when you're doing these walls. So if you want to use the concrete wall and have it postless, that's kind of how you do it. I mean, you don't have to. You can just use plaster. Like that's what I did here. These exhibits use plaster. It was a bit of a tedious process to do that. So I was like, let's try with the concrete, and that's what I did. Yeah, just place the walls with the pillars. So if I can enable, yeah. See where you have all these little white dots. That's where the pillars were, and I replaced it with null pillar. Yeah, and it looks great. Also, the reason why this hedge is so thick is because the terrain is funny. Yeah, you see, it's hiding all the steep terrain here. So unfortunately, I would like the hedge to be a bit thinner, but yeah, you know, that's what I do. You have to work with what you get. Yeah, so this little this way to get these smooth concrete walls is a little technique I've been using in this next area, which we'll see next episode. Building a little reptile park. It is still a work in progress, but yeah, this technique I'm using a lot in this area. So you'll see that next episode. I'm not sure when the next episode will come up. Might even get a Cloudfall Zoo episode before then, because yeah, I've done some stuff there. I posted a picture on the community post. Hopefully that'll come out soon as well. But yeah, thank you for watching this episode. Nothing too glamorous, you know, just some backstage and some simple exhibits. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!